Hey, this your girl. We're gonna talk about the finale of Empire. Okay, I took some notes because child, it was a lot. It was two shows. First, I came in at the end of the first show. Then this morning I looked at it and I put back in my notes what really was supposed to happen. So a few things I might repeat. Sorry about that, but it's things I could gather at the end of the show. All right, Lucius was trying to write his song and his hands started trembling. So he stopped and requested for Cookie for inspiration because he had that writer's block and his hands were just trembling. He's like, okay, well, I need Cookie. Of course, she wasn't. She was in the snow with Mr. Top Security, romancing. Meanwhile, he is calling on everyone to perform at his last tour album. Jamal is Jamal is with the photographer and signing CDs, ignoring his dad's calls. No one will confirm where Cookie is. Then Akeem refuses his dad call and just hangs with his buddies. He is still mad about his dad sending Camilla away. Snoop Dogg performs his song Peaches and Cream. Kind of sound like Rick James, but with Snoop rapping at the end. Hakeem is summoned on the stage so he can rap a line or two that says Lucius is making his family turn against him and his empire. Also, he's going to take his from him. Wow. So Hakeem and Lucius fight in the hallway. Wow, because he said something to him. He's like, hope you die or something like that, dad, or something. And then he insulted him. You know, so mama take your bit. And then, so Lucius hit him. Okay. Now we're back. His brother sees the video because he goes to his brother's house, Jamal. Sees the video, and then they discuss, what dad had done, and baby, and all that. So, which I still don't believe is his baby, because that child is real dark. Okay, we're moving on. Besides that, where are we? Of course, Akeem hates him for taking Camilla away, and then Cookie's secretary spills the beans that she in the mountain with the security guy. Like, really? So there we go. And so Lucius get mad and he leaves. And she's like, I didn't know what I said. I don't think I said the mountains, did I? She's like, it's Y2K. I still don't know what's going on. So Cookie comes back with her sister, put her key card in and talking about all how they, Empire and how Lucius going to be leaving off the earth and all that. And would he just die already? Well, her key card didn't work. And she's escorted off the premises. Then she told she don't have nothing with Empire. She said, I don't want to leave until I see Lucius. So Lucius come over there. He says, you have no empire, no company, no shares, no nothing. I talk to the lawyers. You're not on the board or nothing. They can't let a convicted felon be allowed. So guess what? Andre did you in. So there you go. Jennifer Hudson then prays with Andre at the church, right? Because that's where Andre decides to go. Top Security asks Cookie to move back to Washington with him because Cookie was putting her stuff back in the box so she can go. She only had 15 minutes. And he said, she's like, I know he, I didn't write this down so I have to look to the side. I know he got rid of you just like he's telling me to go. And he said, no, I didn't get fired. And he said, he doesn't want me to leave. He said, what? And so he asked her to go to Washington, D.C. because he had a better job interview with there before Empire came up. And he's like, okay. So he can take her with him. He said, you want to go with me? And she says, no, I want my company back. So here we go. She refuses and says she wants her company back. She don't want to leave the Empire. Okay. He looks at her funny like, Probably thinking, you probably do like this man, Lucius, more than you think. Or you going to stay in hell, with all this nonsense and don't have nothing. And I'm telling you, I'm going to give you everything. So that's the kind of look he gave him. Or to the side. That's what they showed us on TV. Okay. Dre tells his father he is leaving the company. Andre tells his father he's trying to get closer to God. Lucius said there's no higher purpose than making music. That's the voice of God. Andre looked at him and walked away. Kind of like, what you going to talk about God for? You don't know what you're talking about. And Lucius reads an article about Jamal being the best in the future Empire. And he has an idea. So Lucius asks Jamal will he let his monster out and do what it takes to be the empire's head? So, of course, he thinking, help him write a song. So, he's like, yeah. So he said, I'll get back with you on what we need to do. Cookie used to help me, and I have this writer's block. They came out the scene. Then Andre says he feels at home at church. That's when he was looking at Jennifer Hudson. And then she said, no, that's because you're here with God, not because you're here with me. And Lucius and Jamal visit the old house. And that's when he said, why you want to bring me here? His aunt's house where they made music, to make music together. He said, because you said you miss Cookie, right? Well, this is where it all started. He said, well, you walk like a man. And he said, he looked at his father like, what? Like that. And it was kind of like, And then he said, you wanted to bring me here to where I put you in the trash? He said, he looked at him like, kind of like, I know you don't want to try me now. So that was that. On that part of a scene, I didn't write all that down. I just remember it. And here we go. He walks away, reads an article. So Jamal, okay, there we go. So they go to the house, and Andre says, not Andre, Lucius and them are at the house, and they're making this music, and he's like, what you know about being like hardcore? And he said, Dad, what? You don't think I can get hardcore like what you more like being a hardcore? He's like, nah. And he's thinking about when Bunky, he had shot Bunky. That's his hardcore, right? So, and then he has this idea. He's going to get to see how hardcore that his son can be. So they making music. And then they start singing Wild and Rough. And they all close. And but they looking like tension between each other. And they're seeming to connect on the song. So he started making, he said, that's your, he said, this is, now I got my album. He said, no, Cookie Lyons is going to present. So she's still going to do that, even though you kicked out. He said, yeah, but he said, that's the deal. That's how I get, he said, you're not through with getting Empire. I'll show you what you got to do to get Empire. What, Dad? So that was at the end of that. Okay, let me see where I'm at now. So he asked Jamal to get his masters back from Baretti. Hakeem is going to, and then Cookie storms in his house after a minute and says, hey, what else, sister? Where is Lucius? Where is Lucius? Like that. And then she said, I got a text from Jamal that he is over there with Hakeem at Baretti's. And Hakeem's signing over there at Baretti's, trying to get his label. And they're like, what? And Hakeem was over there talking to Baretti, saying, I ain't never signed no contract. So I was like, wow. So, of course, we're going to get over here at Creedmoor. So they went over to Creedmoor. So Jamal asks to talk to Baretti outside and hangs him over the balcony and threatens to drop him if he doesn't agree with him to give him his daddy's masters. And forget about Hakeem. And so Lucius walks up, right? And then Jamal tells Lucius, just go get Hakeem. I'm handling this, Dad. And he's like, you sure? Don't do. Then he's like smiling. And then he's going to walk in there to go get Hakeem, right? Guess what, y'all? Hakeem's having sex with Onika in the bathroom. Believe that. They look back at him like, and that was it, and Lucius sees them and leaves angrily. Because he was like, I just know this B is not with my son. So she was like, I was like, wow, what a B. His doctor tells him he has MG instead of, which is myasthenia gravis, which is a lesser form and you don't die from it, instead of ALS. So it's not life-threatening. So Lucius fires his doctor and say, I told you to give me all the tests that you could take before you gave me this diagnosis. And then the doctor was like, well, I just found this out. You have to weed out everything. And he says, you're fired. So he fires his doctor, and Lucius think about everything he told everyone he died. He got to give up his empire. Start crying, bonking, everything. Just laugh. Then he just all of a sudden he was crying, and he turned it into laughter. Then the scene went off. All right. So Lucius goes to the church to talk to Dre, right? And he tells him to let's see who's more powerful, your God or your daddy. Wow, you know what? So Dre told Jennifer after, because he walked down and said, bro, it moved me to hear, let's make a gospel album. And Dre told Jennifer she just spreaded her legs for Lucius when she agreed to join him to make an album. But she said, you just spreaded your legs for the devil himself. And then Lucius was on medication to help him sleep. Oh, wait a minute. About that part, about the album. Because he wanted to do an album with Jennifer Hudson, who is Michelle White on there, who was trying to break. So he tries to break the faith by hugging his son's therapist. And that was that part. So, okay, now going back. He's on medication to help him sleep, right? So Cookie walks into the room. He having hallucinations or dreams. So then he confessed in his hallucination, in his dream, when he got up, that he killed Bunky, and saying that not even God can kill him, and that he's immortal and all is here, and no one can hurt him, and not even Cookie. So Cookie tried to smother him with a pillow. Then I guess she stopped or whatever. I don't know. At the end of the scene, it seemed like she smothered him, and we thought that he wasn't gonna come back. We really thought he wasn't gonna come to eat. So then Jamal and the filmer started sleeping together on Lucius' desk. And Lucius wanted to do a comeback tour. So he's still talking about doing a comeback tour in his hallucination. He said it's going to be a comeback tour instead of a going away tour because he is not dying. So I was like, wow. So Cookie was in there and she was like, how is this guy talking like this? He was talking like he was the devil himself. So then she said, nah, Hakeem slept with Onika and on a dirty deed, by hanging his man off the balcony. And she's like, oh, if you wasn't dying already, I would have killed you. So, you know what I'm saying? She's still like agitated. So that's the end of that one. But before that ended, the boy, the guy with the filmer, they were having sex inside Lucius on his desk after he had already done the deed for his dad. That was kind of like a celebration thing and a way to disrespect him. Now the next one was about they came on and where we at now? He told Cookie, well, he gave all his children a gift, and everybody had the gift to everything, right? So Akeem opened up his gift first, and it was something like he passed the torch to him, kind of like you did what your daddy did, so you got one of your daddy's prizes. So kind of like, here, I know, I'm gonna give you this. And he looking all crazy like, what? And he was trying to tell them he is not dying. And then he gave a gift to his other son and said, I wrote some money for your foundation and put it in your name and all this here, for the fact that the guy has what do you have, bipolar disorder, and he granted something in his name for him. And then it came to Jamal getting a gift. Well, his gift was he had the key to empire. He was the empire person. Everybody looking at him like, what? So anywho, so since he did that dirty deed for his dad, it was just one of those things. And Cookie came in, and he gave Cookie a pillow and her gift thing. Let him know she tried to smother him. So, and on the next scene, she came into the office, or he summoned her into the office, and she said, "I got you on tape. You tried to kill him." And Jamal was in the room, so he dismissed her from her duties. And the feds wanted to Cookie to snitch on Lucius, and she declined. And somebody else had seen Lucius kill Bunky, and because she was thinking about it, and she's like, "You don't say nothing," because Lucius did say he'll kill anybody get in his way. So afterwards, somebody else who was seeing it said they was gonna go ahead and they gonna testify, and that was the main person that's gonna testify. Yeah, I thought Lucius had killed him or whatever, but something had happened with him. But he all of a sudden showing up and telling the feds about stuff. So she was seen leaving from there by the lawyer guy. So the lawyer guy had just got out of rehab, and Lucius was telling him, "It's water under the bridge. We straight. We need to get this IPO thing up. It's almost time to go," and this and that and the other. And so after that, he just said, yeah, he seen Cookie come to see her PO, but he don't think it's nothing. And tried to get him to focus on something else. So Andre was pissed with everybody. And Onika is trying to pimp and gang up with Andre. Not Andre. Yeah, she was. She was trying to talk to Andre. She was trying to pimp, what's his name? Hakeem is what I should have wrote. And then Hakeem saying, I don't know. Everybody was in the room. Cookie, Hakeem, Onika, and then Andre came. And he's listening to them like, what? Take Jamal down and all that. And so they came off that scene. Then Jamal and his dad was announcing that he's going to be the new CEO of that record company, Empire. So it's like, all right, the Empire, blah, blah, blah. And somebody came out of the scene and said, Jamal's a fairy and a body boy. And that was one of their other persons that his name was Black Rambo. And he said he's going off the label and he's not going to be backed over there because he won't be led by no body boy. And he said, what? I was like, wow. So the one that said body boy, or he said what was Jamal, like, no, he didn't call me that. And then his dad was like, calm down, don't worry about it. And I think he was like loving and soaking it up, like, see, more than me think you ain't supposed to be gay. So Anika and Cookie physically fight because what happened is Cookie was drinking and Anika was just there. I think they had a glass of wine or whatever. And she said, girl, you just don't know. I just throw this in your face. And she's like, what? Then Anika, so Cookie told her that. And Anika was like, and you don't know, I just whoop your ass. So kind of like that. And so Cookie said, threw it. And they started warring. They were going at it. Oh my God, that was awful. But they both got some good licks in, but Cookie went in hard. Onika was going hard too, but they was going back and forth. It looked like they was really fighting. No one hard. Yeah, but it got kind of out of whack. It got really bad. So Cookie and Boo Boo Kitty, Andre and Akeem and everybody plans to take over because they told them to calm down. We here for a reason. We're not here for all this other stuff. She said, all right now I will. So they were wiping faces and all that, and that was it. And their hair was still intact. I was like, what? They fixed their hair a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. So they plan to take the business over from Jamal and some other guy that helps take business takeovers or something like that. So hostile takeovers is what they call it. So Jamal and Black Rambo is another scene. Jamal and Black Rambo at a rap battle. So Jamal just kind of comes in at the end of a rap battle. And he thinking he all that because he rap battling with somebody else. And at the end, nobody wanted to rap battle with Black Rumbo. So Black Rumbo said, "Oh, you want to battle me?" And Jamal's like, "Yeah." So he went up there, and Black Rumbo started rapping and talking about how he was gay and all that stuff, and Botti and all that. So Jamal goes up there and he sings a Bible song and mixing in that, no weapon formed against thee shall prosper, and that him being gay. So, and all that. And he's singing, and then at the end, he said that ballad part, and then he's like, so, kind of told him, so back off. So the song was something in there that sounded like it would have been like intended to say back off, and then he ended it with bitch. So, wow. So, yeah, Uncle Bernie that's the lawyer. So Uncle Bernie went in there to talk to Dre and say, we got what we wanted. Jamal is in the company and all that. We didn't want Jamal to run the company. He just said, I don't know what you talking about, we. He said, you ain't even my family. And stuff. He said, yes, we are. We family. You know I go hard with you. He's like, no. And Dre got mad at him because he was saying things that he just didn't want to hear. He was like, no, he didn't start with this bull. Man, Uncle Bernie and Dre got into this tussle. Boom, 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 boom. So he got the best of Dre, right? I'm like, oh my God. So that's when the wife came in and seen this. But earlier she had already left and told Dre that she didn't want to deal with him. Right? She was going to go and stay at her friend's house. But she came back that same day and saw him on top of, Uncle Dre. I mean, not Uncle Dre. Uncle Bernie hitting Dre real hard in the head. So she, he just getting some real good licks in. And then all of a sudden she took something like hamstick or something and hit him in the back of his head and knocked him down. Dre got up, like this, and he's like, yeah. Then he saw Uncle Bernie bleed, and he's like, oh, wait, Uncle Bernie. And she's like, oh my God. He's like, we got to call the cops. We got to do. She's like, no, we don't. Why? She said, this is not going to be good for me. This is not going to be good for you. Don't. He said it was self-defense. They don't know. Then she's like, Dre, I'm pregnant. And he's like, in another scene, thinking a thought like, really? So after that, they hug and they didn't call the police. So the wife wants to cover it up some kind of way. So I don't know what they're going to do. So it was good music tonight. Lucius got arrested because of another person. That person I was talking about, I don't know who that guy was. He told the feds that he had killed Bonky. So they was waiting for the star witness to be the one to tell the feds. So Jamal is singing with Patti LaBelle. They sound good. But Vernon, because he decided to sing with Patti LaBelle because Lucius got carried out. So, and then Uncle Bernie, Vernon Turner is the star witness. But since Vernon is missing, Lucius might get away with murder. He thinks Cookie snitched on him and called her a hood rat, and he thinks that he can't be killed. He thinks he's immortal. You can hear his inner thoughts. He said, game on, bitches. And then his last word was power. Well, my thing is, this is interesting since 50 Cent series is called Power. Do you think the producers did it on purpose or on accident? 50 Cent says it was his story, and so did Puffy. And if that was Puffy's story or 50 Cent's story, who gay? Something to think about. So yeah, the other thing that I did not mention and didn't get a chance to put in there was Lucius had a conversation with Jamal earlier and had told him his real name and that he was an orphan. And at the end of this thing, they said if you can tweet what his real name was. And so that was good to say. His real name was Dwight. Dang. somebody put Dwight Howard. I was like, that's not it. It's Dwight Wright or Dwight something. God dog it. But I tweeted it on Coach Rudy. I did that, but I can't remember what his real name was. Let me put it up on Twitter, and maybe Twitter will show me so that I could give that to you. You can go on Twitter and tweet what his real name is if you want to get into the contest to be on Empire. And it was like hashtag be on Empire. So let's see what I had wrote last. Is it coming up? Yeah, Dwight Walker. So that's his name. So you can tweet what Lucious Lyon's real name is, Dwight Walker. So that was last night, 3/18/2015, the Empire's season finale. I don't know if I'm going to be watching it in a while, but just that's what you have. They'll be coming back a little later. Have a great day. Bye. Thanks for listening. Wow, this is a long video.